deploy storage that is related to your cloud. You can put their files and it will be available on internet. You will need to understand how which place to look, which address, and so on. And find a group. We will have a group work in this course. It will be done by groups. It will be done by groups, and the task of this project that you design the big data infrastructure for your imaginary company, not a big, like small enterprise. And this is what. So you will need to look at the configuration with services, what you can take from cloud, and quite important that even not many people has quite good competence how to price cloud. So cloud is priced, cost for cloud services is very granular. They count every transaction, every cycle. It costs like 1,000 of cents, but it still costs something. So you will look at this and calculate in your project how much this will be cost your infrastructure, services, partly located in your enterprise, your company, or partly located cloud. And the self-study part. Sometimes I will be recommending for the next lessons, I will recommend you some tutorials available on internet. I would advise you to. They are explaining how to use cloud, which services you can access. Actually, if you want to learn more about it deeply, I can also advise you some paid learning courses. But they are really very good, professionally designed. So if somebody wants to try this, I can give you advice. And for the project, part what is related to your self-study will include that you will collect some information for project. It's experiment with tools to understand how it works. And this what will be. So the task of this course is give you a really overview and understanding what is the area and what you can use for your own work. What is in cloud? Because what is happening now in actually business, cloud is not anymore buzzword, not a hype. It's a production environment, and companies actually using, and even I would say companies try to find alternative to cloud, but they could not, and they see that is economically more proficient, efficient. It is even safe, more safe than on-premises data center, and this doesn't require the common problem with IT. This is IT stuff. It is always leave company because of big competition. So I like this. Always try to each time I prepare new lectures, I try to verify what is happening with hardnet technology hypercycle. Everybody probably know this type of diagram. And what's interesting that here is not anymore no big data, no cloud, because they are already somewhere here. Now company are looking, or business and technology leaders are looking at so-called IoT, edge computing, cognitive computing, also machine learning in application together with deep learning, and this is how it's going. The last time when I've seen the cloud and big data on one diagrams, it was in 2013. And cloud was already moving to production, and big data is still rising. So this is what happens. Because why this happens? Because it's immediately became used by companies, and hardware is there. also consulting companies simply remove it from their radar. Okay, so we are going further. So, what is the issue with cloud? Okay, I wanted to also mention that we will be today will be two parts: is a cloud basics and cloud economics. After cloud basic, I will try to reserve some time, not less than. This is would be at what time? At 8. What is typically scheduled? We do break between inside after 45 minutes. Yes or not?
Hour and a half.
What?
Between an hour and an hour and a half. After an hour, we do a break.
Uh-huh.
Or maybe hour 30 minutes, we do a 15-minute break.
Okay, this is very good. This, if you don't object, I would prefer this. So this means that we are working 1.5 hours, but last 15. Okay. In this case, we will decide when we, for this topic, we need to have such kind of discussion of the brainstorming or question and answers session, where mostly will be your activity based on what I will told you. So I prepared a couple of questions to initiate, but you will also ask your question and we will discuss. So after some piece of some topic, we always will have discussion because sometimes it can be complex for you, but if you start reflecting on what was discussed, what I gave you, you will start more actively understanding what is. So I expect that in 8 weeks you will be quite proficient on all this terminology. Don't afraid from the first time, because this is typically. I know that I also teach in online courses on big data and in cloud. And this also happens like uh, 4 weeks, students even cannot find orient themselves. But week 4 and week 5 already, everybody can operate, can make a reasoning and so on. So something that you will, if you put some effort, you will have much more benefits. Don't reject complexity from the beginning. Okay, so cloud is treated as a real enabling tool for something what is can be developed at a modern technology. Cloud allows you to bring very high computing power. We will see how is data center built, on which reason where is economy. But in cloud, you can order simple, what you will see even today, simple virtual machine, and you can order very powerful. Surely you pay 1 cent, there you pay euros, but it's still, you don't need to buy them. You simply rent them for a couple of hours, pay 10 euros, and you can experiment. Payment is by hours, but for expensive resources, it can be also made by minutes. So this is what something, and this is why we will look also at the cost of cloud, because better if you learn this before negative experience, because typically it's cost money, and this is how uh, cloud companies is doing. Okay, so cloud is powering mobile application. Surely, what is happening in your screen in mobile is require very powerful support from data center from provider. Some applications really run on cloud side. And big data application, what means the big data application? These are large scale analysis, including typically applications like doing the advertisement as you browse on the site on the Google. It immediately gives you some kind of targeted advertisement. And say it's already known research that to be successful, targeted advertisement need to appear in your screen in 40 milliseconds. So Google in particular, or other companies who cooperate with such kind of analytics companies, they use specific machine learning algorithm to identify what kind of advertisement need to be sent to your computer. All is collected, this cookie, whatever, but so this is what one of example of big data application. Making a market analysis, making analysis of your different advertisement or marketing campaigns is also the topic for big data analysis. And there are many stories then related to this, to big data. But all this based on the power of cloud computing. And big data and cloud computing is very closely related. You have big data tasks or data analytics tasks. They has a limited time of processing, limited time of execution. But you will, at this time of execution, you need very powerful computing. So what? You have two options. Either you buy computer for your company, and it will be not used 90% of time, or you simply buy this time from cloud provider. So cloud computing created big data, and big data facilitate cloud computing. So this is enabling technology. At the same time, it's a facilitating technology. Something what is called here, change telecom market landscape. What does it mean? If 20 years ago, all communication, all internet was belonged to cloud providers, internet service providers. They had a whole net. Now, cloud providers has worldwide network. So you can send data in Amsterdam to Amazon, and they replicate your data to United States. This is forbidden according to GDPR, but still you can order this service. So data will be replicated, but they will not use telecom providers network. They use internal network. And this is changing telecom markets landscape. And there are other number of examples. Okay, so going to closer to cloud computing. So cloud computing, this interesting is the phenomena of this cloud computing. Cloud computing first was created term in 2008. This publication of NIST paper, even not standard. NIST is a National Institute of Standard Technologies of United States. It's a well-recognized organization that lead technology. We cooperated in a couple of standards with NIST. So this is very respectful organization. They have good experience how to promote technologies. So I have very high opinion about that. So in 2008, they published paper. Somebody just made abstraction installed. Cloud computing is a model for enabled computing that has 5 essential characteristics, 3 service model, and 4 deployment model. It was published even in a Word file. But in 2011, it became standard. So it became and whatever cloud happening or developing, it simply fit into these three types of definition. And looking at them. So cloud is cloud properties, characteristics. On-demand self-services, broad network access, resource pooling, rapid elasticity measured service, on demand and measured. You request service, and they are very precisely measured. You will see this today, and you will do this at home, trying to understand how it's precise. Network access, which is not discussed, this clearly. Everything is based on internet now. Resource pooling is a provider side. Providers create a number of computers, huge data centers, and they serve customers. And what's interesting, because customers require resources in different time, they can have serve in 10 or 100 times more customers than it would be if everybody owned computer, because distribution of time of load. And rapid elasticity. First cloud services from Amazon was called elastic services. This means that they are extendable. Inside cloud, elasticity means that you can set up criteria for your VM or for your service and say, if the number of requests becoming 10 per minute, add one more VM. And cloud allows to do this automatically. So requests started coming like 11 in 1 minute, and cloud create one more VM that is works the same as your initial VM. It was become 100 requests. It will be working 10 VMs. This means
Sorry, what is VM?
what? Okay, virtual machine. Okay, so hopefully we will clear all this, clarify all this resource. Virtual machine VM is a standard abbreviation. This is something that also you will recognize what is SaaS, PaaS, IaaS, and cloud computing can provide three types of services. You will, by the way, look also what is virtualization. This is some technical part, but you need to have understanding how it's related to computer and to different services. So, three basic service models. Cloud service can be provided, yes, okay, starting from bottom, as infrastructure as a service, means that cloud provider allows you to create own virtual machine on their data center. And you can put in this virtual machine everything what you want, your application, your software. Cloud, another type of services. Cloud provider provides, for example, CRM environment or platform. And inside of this CRM, you can run your task or your application. It is very specific software, CRM. But CRM is clear. What is this? Yeah. Because it would be for me, computer specialist, not known. Customer relation management. Yes. So CRM is related to software as a service. So many cloud providers provide environment where the customers can manage their services. This is another story that your data will be in cloud, but still you don't need to buy the software. You simply need to create an environment to run the software. This is how cloud. And platform as a service, for example, you are developing something in Java, in Python, or different language. Cloud provider can provide you environment where you put your development, or SQL, or this is also related to the data warehouse, where you can create your own task. And they define so-called four deployment models. One is a private cloud. This means that all cloud belongs to company. Why company can create private cloud? Because exist hybrid cloud. Public cloud is a what is public cloud provider? Public doesn't mean free. Public means that it's accessible for public for money. So hybrid cloud means that company creates something in a cloud. It's run part of application in own cloud called private and part in the hybrid. And this is in a public cloud. This is called hybrid cloud. Community cloud. Now we go to the diagram. There's more visualization, always useful. This is what essential characteristics. Elasticity, measured service on demand services, resource pooling is essential characteristics. This is service model, 3 of them, and deployment models. Community cloud is a basic, one of the 4 defined in a standard. Looks like a community of municipality or institution in some area decided that they donate free computing power after hours to so-called community cloud. They install software in each enterprise, and after working hours, these computers will work for community purposes. For example, people will run their websites, music sites, they run rendering video, and so on. So like this. So community cloud, it has a, for example, public cloud is for money. Private cloud is company create own. Looks like for companies free, but they made investment in creating own cloud. And hybrid is a part services done in private cloud, and part is done for public. We will look examples as a use cases part, and will be something what would more or less complex diagram, but you will look at, you see, cloud, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So typically, if you run your software, whatever you use on your computer, whatever, it has a network, computer, and virtualization. Virtualization means that on one computer, if you have virtualization, you can run multiple computers, virtual machines. And virtual machine can have everything, applications, or everything software what is needed. So somebody knows what is VirtualBox? Yes, at least technical people, computer people knows.
Technical people don't use VirtualBox, right? Said maybe.
So you would advise this using VirtualBox for non-technical, for non-technical.
Maybe.
Yes. You mean KVM? But KVM is not actually is not tool for personal computer. It's a tool production.
I use it on my computer.
Okay, so this is also possible, but VirtualBox is still legitimate part tool for running. And I will advise also for somebody who wants to experiment with big data tools, Hadoop cluster, to download Hadoop cluster, install on VirtualBox, and but this will require quite powerful your computer. Okay, so the most important part of this diagram, this is application. This is where your application are providing what you need for your work, and data. In cloud computing, it's quite important to understand that data is very critical. Data can be lost, can be stolen, and so on, misused. But cloud business is built on so-called shared responsibility model. So whatever you use from cloud providers, they are not responsible for your data. But they provide sufficient mechanism and services that if you know how to use them, your data will be secure. This is what means one of the cloud business principles. So this diagram shows that everything what is runs into your computer. If you go to cloud infrastructure as a service, they provide you virtualization platform, and you own virtual machine where you run your application. So this part is responsibility of user. If you go to platform as a service, cloud provider provides you something what is related to machine. It's also possibly virtual machine or a container service, and you run your application on the container service or any platform. So why it is easy? Because here you need to manage whole computer, and here you need to manage only your specific application. It's cheaper, faster. And if you use a software as a service, cloud provider doing everything for you, manage up to application. So think about this. Here, you are sure, or you are confident that what belongs to you, I can control and I trust. And everything what is happening with my application, my program, is controlled inside virtual machine.
Can you give an example of a cloud provided OS?
Sorry?
Like a OS provided in the cloud? An example?
We will look how to it look like. So you simply go to cloud provider and say, I want to deploy virtual machine. This virtual machine need to contain this software, this software, this software. And this machine, after you say start deployment, this machine became available for you, like in 1-2 minutes. And you go to this machine and start using it. And this is what means cloud provider. But you control everything in this machine. If you use a platform, you develop your application. The most tricky, this part. Then you use a cloud-based CRM. What does it mean? That a cloud provider has a very big CRM system on their data center, and they serve many users. So sometimes it's tricky to understand how they still separate users. That one users, one company run the application, another application, and in a cloud. That they never mix data. Nobody, cloud technology guarantee that as many users working on the same cloud provider, they never can read each other's data. This is technology based on that. It is very technical part. We will not be talking about this. But if somebody wants, I can give link to the very technical cloud tutorials. You want?
Yes.
You volunteered.
Yes, let's do it. Let's go for it. Yeah.
You're an admin of Amazon.
Sorry?
Let's say you work at Amazon and you're an admin that
Yes.
does all the recs.
Mhm.
I guess they can still see all the data.
This is a very simple view of admin. Besides, we will be talking almost each lecture related to cloud about how to avoid this kind of. First of all, Uh, virtualized environment, first of all, is a separate machine. What is run in runtime, it is protected by some kind of labels. This is not easy to intercept. It's quite difficult. Something is inside computer, inside CPU, is well protected. This is how is based actually all this technology. So then this is what I will show you when we will look at examples. At the moment of creating your virtual machine, cloud create your secret key. This secret key you see on screen, you can download, and after that it disappears. Cloud provider doesn't store a secret key. Without secret key, nobody can log to your machine. And another story that administrators network in the cloud providers completely separated from the customers network. So it should be, I don't know, too much authorization that goes to this. One more story that cloud providers undergo certification, and they comply with this. And this is quite serious. It was quite serious. So cloud technology is cleared for U.S. government, cleared for this. So if, for example, some organization like NSA try to do this, they go not from the admin part of cloud computing. They go rather from the tricks from encryption. So this is my opinion. But we are currently running a project at our group at the Faculty of Science, Institute of Informatics. We are working on assessing how to still avoid even theoretical stealing data, what is in cloud. Because of commercial purposes, you probably know that Google look at your Gmail. And based on this, it's even officially known. Even they, in the user agreement has. Based on this, they give you advertisement. Not saying what is happening through the browser from the search screen. This is different tricks. They use cookie, they use IPsec, and so on. So this is what. So there are number protection. This will be probably the latest lecture, specifically related to the security compliance, where we will look at these standards. I would say this will be like exercise, not learning, just viewing and having feeling that probably it's serious, like this, because security is much more complex than cloud, but it's fusing. Yes. I will come closer. I would say this. Small enterprises possibly prefer the SaaS because they need to not manage. They can run an Oracle cluster or warehouse, the whole warehouse, at a price possibly 10, 20, maximum I've seen 50 euros per hour. They load their data, they work, for example, 10 hours, and they go. And they store their data in the cloud, but this is a resource center. So small enterprise use this. And by the way, Dropbox, Google Drive is a kind of a cloud SaaS. Video streaming, meeting, whatever. It's go to meeting or whatever. This also related to this. a developer team, company that develop software for business, whatever, they will like to pass because, and many examples of specifically data analytics programming is using online R server or Python server or whatever platform that is used. And company that doing, okay, for web company that is running web shop, they probably need to cloud IaaS. And we will look at the virtual machine images that is provided by cloud providers. They contains every software what needed to run web server. Okay, so looking at the time. Oh, this is time for discussion. And I only spend now, and I only spend. You see, you feel that it's time to discuss. So I will spend 2-3 minutes to show what is on slides, because I see somebody printed lecture notes. And what I also want to say, I will, in most cases, I will provide lecture notes. This will be starting from next week. It will be from Monday. I will try to provide something tomorrow, lecture note, but it's not a full lecture. What will be Thursday? But this will full complete of this will be on Monday. So you can print, you can prepare, and inside slides will be also questions, which I will propose as introductory to discussion. So let's like, okay, look, this is many people ask. So what is the relation between SaaS, PaaS, IaaS? So this is on top of IaaS, you can run PaaS. On top of SaaS, on top of PaaS, you can run SaaS. This means that on VM you create platform, and on platform you create service. So this is how may happen sometimes. You start from buying VM. After that, you created environment, for example, for translating language or writing invoices in specific industry. You run this as a PaaS selling. After you created for some industry sectors bookkeeping application, you sell this for this industry as a SaaS, software as a service. Cloud providers, we had a lot of this. It's just definition and use cases. Something I don't know. Maybe we will return to use cases after discussion, but use cases explain. Oh, but actually they are quite well defined, explained in the lecture notes. So I'm not asking who read lecture notes. I don't want to make somebody feel not comfortable. But still read. It's useful. Oh, yes, we almost finished the first batch. Wow. No, this is going. So this is very quick. It will be. This is model how to virtualization looks like. And two final slides show who is just who heard about containers. This is more than who heard about containers and not computer background. Oh, this is good. So containers still how the buzz about containers is spreading wider than computer science.
Like Docker.
Yes, Docker, Kubernetes, and so on. So look, containers gives the benefits because if you run your application on VM, this has very long like onion of different software tools. But if you run simply service in a container, you don't need your own VM. And difference that if you start VM in cloud, it takes 45 seconds, for example. But if you start container in cloud, it takes like 10 seconds. So this is different. So much more, less power, much less overhead, saying this. Multi-tenant, yes.
Then everything should run in container. Why do we need virtual machine?
Containers still has a limited functionality for applications, in particular real time. How it's called? Interaction with memory, time critical issues, because container has a it always typically container works into sandbox. It's like virtual machine, like Java virtual machine. So it uses a different its communication with platform. So then you need to have a full control of computing possibilities. Still VM. And what else? VM still has a better. This was mobility, portability. So container can work only on container platform. Docker, this container platform, but it still has. But if you do the VM virtual machine, VM can run almost on all hypervisor and all cloud. So this is different. So if you need portability and time critical, it's better still use VM. But it's moving faster into containerization is much faster.
Yeah, it looks like that added layer on the top of the virtual machine, so it's always efficient to run it in containers.
Yes, exactly. Overhead in containers is smaller.
Because it's OS independent, right?
I would not say, but yes, container can be OS independent based on the using different how's it called translation language between platform and container. So this is kind of tricks. What I also would like to draw your attention is multi-tenancy. We already talked. What does mean multi-tenancy? How it looks like? So single tenant or classical. Each tenant or user use own machine, own data, own application. In multi-tenant, we have application that process multiple tenants. In cloud, tenant is not only user, or mostly it's not user, is a customer who bought resources from cloud provider. But customer can create your own application. And for example, somebody who bought in cloud virtual machine to run a web shop is a tenant. But web shop serves multiple customers. So this is a difference in cloud. We will return to this. Okay, so it will not go. This is what kind of I prepared question. Maybe too much higher level. So we make a break, return, and have 10 minutes discussion. And you will think if you want to discuss something.
Yeah, man.
We need to talk.
Unfortunately, it's not in my book, but you are quiet with me. It's all maximum one. Only one.
I'll get my first. Hey. Good?
It's a really long day.
Oh, yeah.
Also, it's from 3:30 to like an hour.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I was late. So long day. I had a conference.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. Lots of time.
Ah.
But it was good, organized well, and
Is it okay? Hours before, we had a Victoria.
it's a long process.
Okay. So you have a plan. I really want to think of the one. Maybe I'll do that. Not this time, because I think that was your iPad. Everything I'm planning to finish it like a little more to Ryan. Yeah, the thing is, yeah, let's hope.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Is nominated for Oscars.
Did you find it?
Yeah,
It's somewhere, yeah, exactly. Plus minus 2,000.
Oh, okay.
But,
Gaat bij mij de film hadden ze die gesproken over
Oh.
je gaat het niet naar de film.
Nee.
Ik heb het bij thuis, dus
Oh, oké.
ik sprak geen
Ja, dan.
er loopt zo'n deur uit 50 meter en dan zie je een bioscoop. Klein en samen zijn ook. Ja, dat is het ook. Dat is zo ja, daarna staat even.
Eigenlijk moet even een hokje doen.
Oh,
Ja, dus ze doen natuurlijk op markt, maar dat is ja. Ja. Ja, goed, helemaal op de volgende.
Gaat even koud zijn.
Ja.
Ja, morgen. Naar de teambuilding morgen.
Right?
Hier is dus vandaag een zonnetje kaart van Ah, dat is een kleine team. Ik heb 6 mensen die komen werken. Dus met 6
Ja.
mensen.
Eén woningbaan.
Ja, nou, ik zat eerder aan het met juni medewerker die 7 dagen van organiseren. Ik dacht eigenlijk dat aan 1 juni baan. Want 2 kan schrijven.
Ja. Of naar Polen, ik eerst een keer leuk, maar op een keer moet ik doen echt wel aan. Vaak doen, maar school worden ook wat slechter. Concentratie.
Nou, na een paar biertjes dan kijk, toen je naar 10 bent, dat was ook een beetje gaan doen. Dus ik heb ook een shoot en toen ben je aangegeven dat je met 10 bent en je gewoon goed in de gaten beginnen. Nee, maar met restaurant, ook veel workshops, dat doen we van de Dus vorig jaar zijn we voor een info workshop, ja, daarvoor geschreven.
Oh ja.
Maar doen we daar manager daar maar van gebruiken om te vinden?
Ja, dat zou ik doen. Ja, mensen die echt goed dingen, maar het is wel een beetje moeilijk, want zo'n heel klein team, dan zou je heel lang in een groter team geven. Behalve in het kerstfeest.
Ja, dat ja.
Maar dat was het wel. Dat hebben we een beetje van gehaald, dat was wel heel
Ja.
Maar nu is hij voor los ervan, dan denk ik, nu zit hij met z'n drieën. Als ik hier iemand heb, een uur op een avond, ja.
Zo is het.
Gewoon aardig.
We hebben ook een team en dan ben ik dit en dat is ook maar ook
Alleen maar.
nou, het is ja, en we gaan het verzekeren dan ja. Ik heb daar geprobeerd iets aan te doen, maar ja, ik ga het beginnen investeren uitzetten en jongens in die bij al
Ja, ik moet je even proberen te doen. Ja, je hebt heel veel van jou deze
ja.
is er bij zo'n
Ja, en ik heb ook 20 jaar bij de IT.
Oh, ja.
Ik ken het allemaal. In ieder geval de finance training ken ik ook.
Ja. Ik weet niet echt, maar
Stagiair, hè?
ja, je doet het interview hoor. Voor de komende 6 maanden heb je al 4.
4 kandidaten.
Ja. 6 kandidaten.
4 stagiairs ga je hebben.
Nou, dus 2 om ja, dus maart, juni en dan zomers vaak iemand.
Dat was echt 4 jaar dat ik deed, dus dat 4 jaar
Nou, je moet nu dus. En dan als één, ik druk in dingen door, dan zie je. Dan zeg je ja. Dan is het gewoon zo verder, omdat het bij iemand is, dan is het 6 uur verder van mij. En als je aangelopen bent, dan gaan we gewoon niet op. Nog even puur op. Ja. We hebben nu weinig mensen. Mensen om half 5.
Ja,
Ik ben gewoon een keer vinden. Dus dan als je Dat wel leuk als ik zelf die in ook. Dat is wel goed. Ja, dat is wat je doet.
Ja, kijk, als jij ergens aan het werk houden, dat lukt wel, maar als je het niet gaat doen, dan is het.
Ja, ik laat het wel. Daar neem ik ook nog 2 dagen bij.
Jawel, toch?
And then how's your database on? I'm sure. Sorry? Database.
I haven't done anything. Like none.
I sat down last weekend. I was like, oh, such a, I was like, and then I said to myself, you know, probably the last weekend I'll have it. So I do wish.
Like that. The other side.
Yes,
Yeah.
you know which process?
Okay. Is your Photoshop on the cloud as well? Is it from the Adobe Cloud? No. Okay.
I have too much, and I still my photos I don't keep in the cloud
Okay.
because my photo is very big. I have like professional camera, so my photos like 10, 20 megabytes,
Okay.
not applicable. And I would pay for the cost of my camera.
I think that was.
So my archive is
I think that was supposed to go along 18 terabytes. Wow.
No, it's
Is yours?
Oh, it was the teacher.
okay. So
This man provides
while
technology that.
it's time to return to
Exactly. Pay for the ink.
okay, what I show currently on the screen, it exactly arrived during the previous lecture, during the previous time, arrived paper, industry paper. It's called data supply chain. For me, first time I hear this term, but I'm very interested what they mean. Data supply chain. Listen,
The other teacher.
so I will put this paper on on the blackboard in area just non-classified information, not related to lectures. You may find useful to read because I browse it and I would be very interested to read. There is also another paper that we are working at our project. Is called like our hub economy. Have anybody heard about this? Our hub economy. I will also upload it. Another paper that is also coined by some kind of Gartner, whatever, McKinsey, they call our algorithmic economy. They are competing inventive terms. I heard this like keynote from somebody who was invented term algorithmic economy, and finally found useful to look at this term, because whatever currently happening is based on data, what also interesting that last year I have a chance to be at the Watson World of Watson. World of Watson. Does anybody know what is this? World of Watson? No, not
Everyone's looking at
do,
it.
do we have IBM? Yes. Wow. Two. Last course I remember was only one. But we did a lot with IBM. So World of Watson, you know what it is. And this year it will not be called. It's changed to another name. Yes.
Well, I picked the company last week.
So you want to gain and find something better?
I don't think I'll get an invitation.
Yeah, okay. Yes, something happens strange. But World of Watson is a conference in Las Vegas, 17,000 attendees, all IBM customers and workers from all over the world. I was invited for IBM money. I would never go for this conference. So because the IBM was very interested in data science education, so we had a workshop. But it's for me it was a huge impression. First of all, from the what is your CEO, Romney?
Yeah, Gene.
Ginny Romney. Yeah. Oh, this is a real woman. Impressed me. So, and the plenary, her presentation was on the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas for 20,000 people. Almost all was full. So this is what the scale of event. So this was some kind of interesting. So what we will do, you are signing the attendance list. We will be also groups. I understood that you don't have well-established groups.
We do.
Okay, so it's very good, very strong or desirable recommendation. Not concentrate all computer science people in one group, but this is also not critical because most of exercises is done not say for your I would say grading, for your just knowledge. What will be used as a grading is a project where you will develop something that you understood from this course. How to design the big data services cloud-based for your company, imaginary company. So you will invent company. I will post sometime such a checklist, what develop, structure of the project, and you will be developing until the end of the course. And you will also estimate cost of this. So this will allow you to look closer at the cloud, understand how you can manage. Part of time on the practical part of this each session would say 1 day we will call session, we will call lecture, practical part. So we will do this question and answers, analyze an example how to do this, and this will give you more or less a practical feeling how to work with cloud. So I will put this. Try to make today splitting on a group. I will after that for each group established. I will give key to the file to the specialist on the website. There is a page for practice, and there are a number of files where are located your password, secret key, and a private public key. So you will use them to access in cloud.
How many keys do you have?
I have 12 groups, but I want 10 groups in this, not more. So this means that four people in average. If somebody wants five people in one group, I don't have objection. You will be working. You will split how's called time of working, but actually one group will have one credentials to access cloud, and we will try something to do today. But I'm still quite, definitely we need to split on a group to get this. Because there are some kind of security rules that I would not like violate because of not complete organization. So let's start. Security always based on strict rules. So I distribute key credentials for each group. So each group who is not assigned or wants to experiment today, I can give one of this key, but after that I need to replace it. So group take this key, download, and after that I will check which groups are ready. After that I will simply delete this file. This modeling how cloud providers do it. They display you a secret key, and after delete it. Password, you delete it. So this is one of the how's called security or identity management in cloud. So can I put who is ready already? Hopefully you are not all computer scientists. We are this guy from IBM. And you can make the group number one.
You guys have a group?
So how you mark this? You don't need to sign. This is only for group.
Actually, I'm with the South Holland group because it's just easier logistically.
Oh.
You guys in Amsterdam.
Make a
just
group
stuff.
number. Number one.
I got Islam as well. She's not here.
Whatever. But add one.
And that's Spanish.
Alpha one. No, one.
Want to join?
team
You have a
alpha.
group?
One dash team alpha.
Okay.
Two,
So
whatever
four.
you can invent.
Nice.
And move this around.
Does anyone know? I mean, any of us know bit of technology?
In time, I will show you a couple of interesting slides.
Not cloud
Uh,
technology.
I will not pretend that
Should we find
that,
someone?
it's a silence in the room, but I will simply show you.
I can generally
And again,
program.
whatever I show you on during the lectures or session, it will be updated on the Blackboard. Everything will be posted on Monday after 3 p.m. and updated after lecture. Because I will do simply some adjustment, some improvement, extension, so on. So you have a time opportunity to prepare like 90% of readiness on Monday, and final version of lectures will be just Friday. Tomorrow I will update, or today evening. So if somebody wants to, some like last version, just to know this. So we have a group number 2 or not? No. Yes. Okay, good. After that, we will number 3, number 4. This is good. So we will finish that today. And in time, I will show you something what is part of the.
Think of a name. Do you have a name?
Autobahn.
Hmm?
Autobahn. I just looked at my
Autobahn.
sticker
Look,
here.
this we will return to this. Look at this diagram or this slide that you understand.
Where are you?
Standard
Both
assessment
of us.
Oh,
that
Andy.
companies data center costs like 15-25 million for big company. Sure, we're talking about
Yeah,
big companies.
she's next to me.
But what is interesting? 43% is actually hardware, and 58% is everything related to wastable, maintainable, reusable materials.
How often do they do a tech refresh?
Actually, 5 years
5 years?
is standard, but now it's becoming slightly outdated. This is what I know numbers. I didn't refresh. There are a couple of there is one slide showing the paper from 2010. But everywhere I see discussion about cloud economics cost, everybody saying must read this paper because it's really fundamental. So, and 40% of labor cost. But what is labor cost means for company? This is taxation, finding qualified people, managing different kind of ambition, managing career, and after losing them. In the cloud, you will have labor cost 6%. Even if you create cloud for your company, for enterprise. Why? Because it's a slightly different architecture of the computing facilities. But really it is for cloud providers. 6% for cloud providers. Power condition and okay, because of this kind of technologies. By the way, what I'm working in Science Park, Amsterdam, is a Watercraft mirror, and they have currently it contains 3 data centers. One is Amsterdam Exchange, another is Equinix, and one more building is such a tall building. I still don't know what is there, but I know that it belongs to research, only 1 floor. All remaining 10 or plus floors is also data center of some company. So in data center becoming very energy efficient. So I understand that moving. Which group you have? Number 3, number 4, 4 group. So this is okay, success. Okay, so what is interesting? Have you heard such interesting fact that if you put warm water at a depth of 80 meters, and this will be cooled down, it will go up without pump. So you don't need pump. So if you put the hot water at the depth somewhere, lake or whatever, even underground, 80 meters, you don't need pump. It will be pumping itself. So the same is in Amsterdam Science Park. The Equinix put the heated water from their data center at bottom, deep. They exchange this Science Park heating system for buildings, and this way. And they make economy this by cooling in a big data centers. But imagine who have money to drill to the 80 meters and build a big reservoir, big company. Okay, so this is how it's doing. Another story: how to make cooling in desert. Cooling in desert is also has a ecological technologies how to cool in desert. They do something like water evaporation on some kind of the substance, and this also works. Another example: economics of cloud. We already discussed about SaaS, PaaS, IaaS. So this some citation from this paper is that they estimate. So if you need software, for example, from Oracle or SAP, cost of $100,000 is normal price for enterprise. You need to spend 20% on maintenance, update, and so on. It's a cost money. And in 5 years, it costs $200,000. And if you do the same SAP software buy from cloud, it costs $150 per user per month. So now it's even cheaper. So it will cost you only, what is this, 37. This is how it happens, economy. This example, we were talking about different economy condition or economy effect of different cloud deployment models. And one of them is you see, pure private cloud, pure public cloud, and hybrid cloud. So in total, it makes cost up to 30-20% cheaper than running own data center with all technology. But also notice, companies are, okay, if what happens in your life, here discussion about we need data center, what software we need to buy, install, or whatever. You can raise a voice that it is still beneficial create a company website using cloud technology. There is a lot of open source free software. Install it, it's OpenStack. If somebody here, OpenStack, install it, and it will be very easy integrated with private cloud.
I'm interested, how is
Public.
hybrid cloud cheaper than your public cloud?
I heard just day before yesterday, I heard interesting discussion. Companies trying to create a facility or infrastructure for doing data analytics. They need to process big data, but they again can process them only, say, during working hours. In the night, they don't. So they estimated that using something on premises to store a low demand processing useful in the hours, not working hours, but peak processing to this cloud. They told that they also do like staging. They develop their application on cloud. After that, run on own data center. So there are different options where you can save, but saving cloud is still not cheap, especially if you run licensed software like SAP, Oracle, and so on, Microsoft SQL Server. So this in total, because if you do pure public cloud, you do a lot of paying to provide. If you do hybrid, you pay less, but you still pay something. Please look at this. This will be one of your topic for the put into a project to develop, compare, make some kind of judgment, and make conclusion. And definitely.
But then again, this is from VMware, so they have. Of course, they will show you that it's always beneficial to have stuff in your own data set. Because that's how they make money, right?
So you volunteer to check this. I would okay. So if you can make really assessment how much is true and what is
well,
there.
It really depends on what you want to do, right? I mean, sometimes the cloud can be cheaper, and sometimes running things in your own data center can be cheaper. So it's always better to be flexible, because then you can choose if you want to run something in workload in your own data center or in the cloud, and that's why it can be.
Yes. This is a topic of your project. not yours.
It depends.
Everybody project. So you can run options. You can also define which company. Do you know that Netflix until last year was entirely run on Amazon, but now they have own data center. So what does this mean? They decided that running on Amazon is more expensive than building own data center. But I'm sure that own data center not smaller than Amazon data center. But why streaming company like Netflix would like to run on cloud? This is what I was told you. They put data in one cloud, in one region, and cloud automatically replicate all over the world. What else cloud can do? Very interesting. Cloud can automatically localize content. So they have such facility that if you put multilingual website, you still need to understand which language to provide to customer. And cloud has such controls or function that you say, if this comes from this, redirect to this. If comes from Latin America, put this in Spanish. Comes from the UK, put in English version.
Well, you can build it, everything, you can build it anywhere. You don't necessarily need cloud for that. But the thing is, they already built it for you, and that's maybe why it can be cheaper. But that doesn't mean that you can't do it by yourself.
You can do this by yourself, but again, don't forget one thing: the cloud provider offering the infrastructure worldwide, they always local customers connect to the local. In case of your example, you need to have a hosting provider in Latin America, you need in China, and so on.
One of the biggest positives for companies to deploy things as a service on the cloud is also if somebody doesn't pay you, switch it off. And there's no piracy.
Once more?
Software piracy?
Yeah, surely, I understand. But why you think that cloud, who will switch off?
I mean, like Microsoft, for example. If you have a software as a service, and then you don't pay for Excel, you can only get it from Microsoft now.
Like the online
Google Sheets?
No. If you want to use Microsoft Excel,
yes.
Then you just there's no other way for you to use Microsoft Excel on the cloud version.
No, actually, yeah, it's true. But have you looked at the Office 365?
Yes, I use it.
You use it. How much you pay? Probably 10 euros per year.
No.
More?
Yeah.
But you as a student, if I'm not mistaken, has access to SurfSpot. I'm mistaken or not? You have. Have you used?
No, I paid about 69 per year.
Check.
Okay.
SurfSpot. By the way, I'm advertising SurfSpot. SurfSpot, each euro you spend through them gives you the same amount of euro credits. So you buy on 100 euros software, you have right to buy from them on 100 euros, not paying at all because it's your credit. Sorry, I am also realized this only in December. So I have a huge amount because I always buy it. Now I have something. Maybe I can share with somebody. Sufficient amount. Okay, so this is creating some discussion. The opinion can be different, and in instruction to the project that I will publish on Monday, you will see that you need to compare, use these different options to study, collect information. Okay, so as we were talking that cloud has source of economy, supply side, because cloud provider has a big data center, they can buy cheaper software, use hardware. Mostly actually, biggest cloud providers run own cloud software. Smaller cloud providers run open source software, so they actually not paying for software. So simply just use it and pay some development, some maintenance, and so on. So they aggregate software and hardware, and they have economy. Demand side aggregation is something what I already told. If cloud provider has a very big infrastructure, especially spanning multiple continents, they can allocate resources during night for customers from in United States and Europe, and otherwise around. So all is going around, and what has also happened during night in some region, replication. So cloud provider, specifically Google, one of this, they have a lot of work to move data and make them synchronized, consistent, replicated. So during night, this processes goes during night typically. So data from Europe, collected indexes, user experience, statistic, log files, move to Europe, move to Asia during night. And my knowledge, like 5 years ago, that 70% of Google network is used for synchronizing the indexing around the world. Also synchronizing and replicating the Google Drive, Google Sheets, everything is goes in the background. Something may change after May, that they don't have right to replicate data from Europe in different regions. But this will not change their business model. Simply they may need somewhere make the network pipe thicker, somewhere thinner. Okay, so which group we have now? 7, okay. 8, and it's
Group 7 and group 1, so.
Sorry.
But how many people? It's actually okay. So anyway, I will probably will be able to. Or you are in both groups. So you will do double work.
Replicate.
Okay, so I hope that it will finish. After that,
Yeah.
One of group members will get the key. I will show where to find, how to use it, because this is what we are finishing. Please read this paper. This was a paper that I mentioned, that everybody say, this is already on the slides. I slightly adopted them. So you will find this cloud economics of the cloud. So they compare different technologies, like old mainframe, cloud, server, cloud. Cloud is changing business model, pay for use, and so on. So here you definitely, this old client server, this how internet is based on a cloud server, and all network is based on this. So you will need to buy software, hardware, and mainframe, which already long time ago. And this diagram shows then cloud provider move from 1,000 servers to 10,000 to 100,000. Their cost drop 80%. Yes.
With respect to costs, how do you calculate storage costs?
Doesn't mind using company information. VMware, Microsoft. His sources are Microsoft, VMware. I guess they do produce papers too, right?
So very big volume of data.
Basically, this online service, but this online where you basically make algorithms. I just thought about your thoughts.
Yeah. Ontopia.
This on the slide that I prepared for practice.
If you make
Storage cost.
actually make money,
I will
put capital in it.
not much give you theory or advice. I will simply tell you examples.
Oh, that will
Storage cost in cloud has two aspects. You are storing data on cloud and paying for this. But data has a different type of data has a different patterns of usage. So some data is typed archived data, some data is used in real business. So cloud provider allows you to put data in cloud, but if you will take them, they will charge you. Why? Because they use resources of cloud provider to connectivity, bandwidth, and so on. And this cost is quite significant. Majority of cloud provider business is finished at their data center. So they not optimize internet connectivity. So if your network is bad, somewhere in village or somewhere in a very busy city, you will have problem of your data. And data still, for which purpose? If you use for business, the delay of offloading data or loading data from cloud may be not acceptable for business. Cloud providers also charge you for any transaction and input-output operation for working with data. So there is a simple rule. If you store a data like archiving type, simply called cold data, so you may benefit from storing it at your company. But also storing data, cloud provider provide you backup and restoration. This is not expensive, but still protect your data. I have my own experience. As I already told, at home, I have storage 18 terabytes.
What do you do with 18 times?
I would say movie. No, you didn't listen to what I wanted to say. Movie is only 4 terabytes. And 12 terabytes is actually my photos. Like 700,000. No, I don't hide. I'm a photographer, amateur. This is professional equipment. So I'm doing a lot of photos, especially before 2 years, and I started managing one project big. It was my time consumed, but hopefully project finished, I will plan again buy a couple of terabytes of. So, but once it's RAID. Just to somebody knows what is RAID, somebody not, is a storage that is redundant and very fast. But it has it stores data on say best redundant is 4 disks. So if 2 disks, 1 disk failed, it still continues working. But if 2 disks fail, it stops, and you need special program or specialist to restore your data. And once I lost, I didn't put alarm, and 2 disks failed, and I needed to restore it, so I checked how much it cost in Netherlands, 6,000 euros for 1 terabyte. Finally, I decided that no, this is too much. I checked how much it cost in Ukraine. This was 5 years ago. Finally, I agreed. I called to company, can you restore it over 2 nights? And it's costed 200 euros. Since this time.
How much were they able to restore?
I lost only 1 trip of like 100. Probably better than 99%. So this is what, but I don't know why is this exactly. It was very sensitive for me to lose this data because it was nice photos. What I do, I select best photos. So typically I select 1 to 20 to 200. So my criteria, my statistics, I select photo that I want to show to people is 1 of 200. But it's really photo that I like. Something. Okay, so now what I do, rate is useful if you do the slideshow or you watch movies, because it's available also for office, but you need to keep regular backup. So besides 18 terabyte of operational storage, I also have 9 terabyte of backup.
That's quite a lot.
But they are somewhere in the corner of my room. They are cold, almost dead.
Using cloud for your backup?
First of all, it would be cost more than my camera. Second, cost is not even the speed of downloading image. My image is average 8-15 megabytes. This is not goes to the slideshow, not goes to the real processing of image. So you need to understand. But besides this, Amazon provides quite attractive services. It's called Glacier. Glacier costs 1 terabyte per month, like some microcent. Amazon provides also, okay, all this on a slide, but I'm just talking. But Amazon also provides another service. It's called Storage Gateway. And what does it, besides fast uploading data to the cloud, it also provides a service that they send you disk in a special container, physical container, by DHL or whatever. You store the data on this disk, they send DHL courier back, and typically 1 terabyte of uploading data, it takes tens of hours, even in good network. So it's faster to send courier and reliable and so on. So this is what Gateway allows you physical uploading data via the physical drive. So combining this, different kind of storage. Storage typically costs very cheap, but it goes to say, to scale, it may cost a lot, and it's inconvenience of storage, of using it, because you store data and actually collect data not for just to store them. You need to process them. Another story is that if you do the analytics or like Hadoop processing, massive parallel processing with your data, you have options. Either you create Hadoop on your in your company, you need to somebody who knows this. It takes a couple of days, even maybe weeks. You need a powerful computer, and again, you need continuously interact with your data, because input-output is continuously happening. In cloud, you have already Hadoop, you have a computer cluster, and you put, in this case, better to put data there, because cost of internal transactions much cheaper than cost of communicating data over internet. So something we will be talking next lecture about this. What kind of exist infrastructure, big data infrastructure, supports specifically analytical tasks in cloud. And interesting, everybody heard about data lake. Yes, it's nice word. So, and concept, if you will see next time, concept even more nice. So, yes, concept is also interesting.
Very nice.
Okay, so retail groups. I will simply. Should I? Who will take? No, we will go slightly. I will show you screen. You are can open it now your laptops. No,
Even more nice.
your computers.
Open your.
No, it's not necessary for everybody, but
One per team. Yeah.
Yeah. I need to talk to
Yeah, it's usually like the Bloomberg data is usually.
And I,
So
yeah, you can leave the cable there.
Nou, zal ik hem maar even aanlaten, want dat is misschien wel handig als...
Somebody's watching us live.
Two viewers.
Damir is watching.
Damir. Ja, wat gaan we doen dan? I'm just thinking that we should do the assignment. So, okay, I'll just leave it running. So watch out for being watched.
learning.
I don't. Is it okay? Is it safe? Don't use a Windows computer, guys. It's dangerous.
What's the problem? Don't like
I don't know if it's safe. If it's safe there, you know, if I go to that website.
No, this is actually we will talk. First part, we will do exercises with Amazon.
Yeah.
Because Amazon is the easiest to understand. After that, if we have time, maybe we skip, we will do a Google Cloud exercise. It's the most user-friendly. But at the end, we still look at the big data software and application in Azure Cloud, Microsoft. This is the most business setup. So you should never make prejudice. Not prejudice to Amazon, not prejudice to whatever IBM, or not prejudice to Microsoft. Microsoft Cloud became the most business the most business setup. And you will see all this interface. So you go to you have this page. Click on this. Here you have both of them.
Okay, if I click on that one, I get a 404 thanks to your sound error.
Yeah.
No, if I
Yes,
click on
yes.
HTML.
Both of them not found. This is the so what you need to do? What did you do?
I think you have to download some malware first. Click on here. Click. Yeah.
Now I'm doing this for one of groups. You see credentials text here, and I will give you this letter, which you append to
Tekst. Hij drukt op tekst volgens mij.
Moet ik hem gaan...
tekst.
Oh ja, oké. Dus... Het is wel leuk bedacht.
Knutselen.
Een beetje knutselen.
Very safe. Very secure.
I feel so safe already. Nou, ik had ergens zo al die... Oh ja, dit is inderdaad.
Okay, so you will get this code, and for example, you will put your group and put the letter number, and you will get the result.
Oh.
Ja, waar?
You see, this is group, this is password, this is access key ID, this is public key, and secret key. I'm not afraid that you type all this code. This is simply a random number. And now, let us understand this is more or less randomly. So, who will take from group 1? I have Jan, I have Kevin.
ABC.
Yes. So you take, so you put 01 and letter what is there.
You have the key. The key to
You will take from group 2.
Oh no.
Friends, friend.
CFF.
I'm the worst key.
You share this with your group, but if you have one person is who will take from the key?
Yeah.
I don't mind.
And where is your... So this.
Okay. You have your code.
Yes.
Take 03 and letter.
Yeah.
Who will take from group 4?
Die moeten we er achteraan. You have to add it behind, right? Somewhere here.
Ja.
Credentials.
Yeah.
You got it.
Good task now.
You on the seat zitten? You want to sit here so we can
Yes.
see better.
Yeah.
All information. Access this page. You need the credentials, 04 and letter. What is at the end? You simply change the name of file. Yes. And midnight I delete this file.
So we download the file.
We're going to explode or something.
Never know. Never know.
Oh my God, that's stuff.
That's it. Got it. Okay, now we can use this to
Group 7.
Yeah.
Volgens mij is dit de user
Group 8.
met de account ID. Okay, wait. This is the
started at A. That was
Yeah, looks like this. Okay. Ja, nu de assignment, hè?
Okay, everybody already accessed credentials. After that, what you do?
Exercise.
What you do? You do click on this. You will have normally you have new window and or copy this link and you will have a console. So this is something different. The console on the control.
So, yeah, we're on the camera,
Yeah.
by the way.
Really? Live stream?
Yeah, it's a live stream. Yeah, I mean, if I put it out, then they can't hear also what's going on. So. Ah, wait, what I can do, I think I can turn it around to show the screen.
Oh, yeah, the camera.
Yeah, I think. Screen share, yeah. Touch screen, okay. Okay, Inception.
What was that?
Well, if I share the screen, but the screen shows my screen, shows my screen.
Ah,
so,
okay. Loop, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now it's on the thing. So if we open the assignment, then it says you have your credentials, right? So we have our credentials, and you have to create a tag with the key pair. So what's this? We already did this.
Yeah.
So what's the idea? This key pair, you use it to log into other systems. So
all this data from this file.
you have, if you have a system like this. Let's see if I can zoom in.
So this is not much secure, but still reasonable for educational purposes. So you will go to this, and now.
So I have here the keys. So this is like something, and I can use that key to log into another system. So, for example, I have some other servers where I can connect to, which is this website. I'm logged into that system, and I can see what kind of things they have. The only reason I can do that is because I have a key, which is
You are the lead of Amazon Web Services. And a current task you for today, you go around, look at services, look at storage, with something to show you, but mostly you are doing yourself. You can start, possibly enough time, you can start deploying the image, but essential here, you need to pass like 7 steps. You need to understand which properties and characteristics you actually set up. And there is also a recommendation what would be our convention. Unfortunately, this kind of simplified model will still allow everybody see whatever is my personal account. So all charges that will go on our experiments will go first on my personal account, after that will be reimbursed. Right?
If you're lucky.
So, you know,
Yeah, if you're lucky.
I want our cooperation. Our cooperation. our experiments like one millicent for 1 hour.
But it takes ages to mine a Bitcoin with a T.
I will actually check So if the total cost of our experiments will rise more than 50, I will get alarmed. And I will check which account did this. And so don't hurt others. The issue is not mining Bitcoin. By the way, I tried to find. We will look at the images that allow proposed by on the market of Amazon Web Services, and I tried to check Bitcoin mining. They don't support it.
Only Bitcoin.
I didn't check. Okay, so not for mining, it's only for understanding. So before for your colleague also who don't mind. Don't mind. But anyway.
Yeah.
So
dit is soms gewoon.
Also take care that everybody in the group understands. So if somebody already advanced, try to your colleague, partners already. So it's not like one is working with cloud, another is working with cost or whatever, of infrastructure. Everybody needs to understand it. Because you are meeting for 4 hours or 8 hours a week together, but you are not in different companies. You need to have knowledge in your
can we create individual user accounts for team members?
For which purpose? I can create for you, but this is we will not be doing a real project. Yes, because this is something that you need to understand the structure of the service and how to do this by saying. So if you quite familiar with this, so this is what not much additional value for you. Because this is mostly essential. That's why I say we are starting.
Dat is niet handig. Ik dacht dat het verplicht was.
In every, for this we probably will have special agreement with every educational.
So do we share? So create a Slack group or WhatsApp group? What do you guys want?
Sorry?
So you want a Slack group, WhatsApp group?
WhatsApp.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'll just put everything in WhatsApp. It's easier. So
Another story. Because it's really not very convenient how the payment structure. I very much advise you to do this.
We have like each week. Next week. The project.
Go to Amazon if you want to experiment. Not restricted by rules in the classroom. Go to this. Apply for educational account. You can also go to the new user account. Even better, because educational account will give you 2 options: either $30 or $50. $50 you need to provide credit. But don't worry about this. If you exhaust your credits, it is free. It's simply stop. Stop allowing you to do some services that are not free. All new users of education has a lot of services they call free tier. This is what I put this into this. So Amazon instances reserved instances to the business or the spot request. Have you heard anybody about spot request? Who already has experiences now? Yes. Spot request means that you can use so-called free unused resources. So data centers running, and they feel that something unused computing resource power cycles, and they put this as the spot request. You need to find this experiment, and this spot request can be 100 times cheaper than normal prices. This way you can do the Bitcoin mining. So you put the spot request, and if the big instance just pop up for like 1 cent, you put criteria and it will run. Also fifth tier. Fifth tier is a something at the level of T2 micron, and this also everybody who get new account at Amazon 1 year has a right for free tier. So this not a lot of services, for example, you can run your website. It's sufficient. You can also process like hundreds of transactions a month with your customers. So this is more or less reasonable. But it's still, again, it's done only for educational purposes. And Amazon and has a market, they can have pre-configured images. And we are going to the our convention. You got this. This is group name, password, access key, ID, and secret. So your task to the next day that to install the SSH client to block this cloud. And I would like to get evidence in the form of screenshots that everybody or group has this.
Now,
So something that so this screenshot that everybody or group installed SSH client. Does anybody never used SSH client? You need to know. Because it's not difficult. And by the way, here in the blackboard already guidelines for practice. Already a guideline. And also on the page that you have UA Zone Learning, this is a link to guidelines. It has a very detailed instruction how to install, how to convert in, and unfortunately it's still very slow. But this is something what that I told. There is something that you need to learn. Not on the lectures, not on the project. It will give you much of approach in the cloud nirvana. Don't have a problem. You don't afraid cloud. So one of the goals, you are not afraid of cloud at the end of it.
Don't be afraid of me.
Ja,
Wat
was een beroep. Oh god, ik heb er zo zitten. Okay, so when he stops talking, you can actually start working.
Is a CCM start 0141 if you create a S3 bucket. You have S3 at the end.
Did you bring your laptop?
In this case,
Did you bring your laptop?
No,
No? Yeah, you need it for this, of course. It's the better issue. You bring your laptop?
Yes.
Say. You cannot do SSH. Maybe you can do it on your phone.
You can do it.
This is also what you have in the file that you
Can I do it on my phone?
You have iPhone, right? Well, you can install just like a Google iPhone or SSH client in the store.
If not, I will update. So check if not does help us. How we can communicate? At least I can send email to you. I will send email to all of you via Blackboard or I can actually show you my email.
But this is the assignment.
This is very simple.
Okay, zet die hierin? Is het in de...
It's on the slides, right?
You create and configure Amazon Linux. Yeah, that's here. It's in Blackboard.
Okay.
So there is practice week
Yeah,
1.
oh, these two.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we have the instructions, right?
Exactly written there,
You
like
make an
login.
account and then you make a bucket.
Make a bucket.
Oh, for what? What do I do with the bucket?
Okay. So the thing is,
Yes, what's the thing?
So we can finally. So you have this machine somewhere in the cloud. You need to connect there.
Yeah.
So it needs to be safe. So
You create an account,
Configure your client.
then you create that machine.
SFTP or SCP and put password there. Also. So this is what simplifies it. And this
As a group one or a single one?
You deploy the image. After you deploy and try to access the SSH, you need to stop it.
like we can't leave it running. We have to shut down all the virtual machines after we did the assignment. Yeah.
You do experiment. It's always to stop.
Yeah. Okay.
Stop your machine.
Yeah.
This is condition of educational.
Yeah. Okay. It's good to know.
We are not doing connection.
It's in the instructions as well.
If you create your account,
Yeah, or like,
Yeah, it's
is it
probably.
okay if we just shut down?
Yeah.
if you create your account, you can block people. That's why I advise you to do it. Go to this and try to.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so let's just start working. So I have this thing here. This is my private key, and
Did you get it?
you can generate it actually. So there is a command which you can run. On Windows it works a little bit differently. So you can actually do it if you.
What
I
about
have connection.
We could. Oh, you have geen.
ik heb een Apple.
You cannot open Apple. Apple actually is easier because they also have shell, because it's Unix based. So they have a built-in SSH client. For Windows, you have to download a special client.
Mac is fine. You don't need to download anything additional.
Your Mac.
No. Job, so we can do it together, but they have free
And Job has a Mac as well at home.
Yeah.
You have a Mac as well at home.
Yes,
It's easier.
Okay, so there's this command which you can run. It's called SSH keygen, and then I can save it. So I'll make a test key. Example, let's call it like this. Test key.
And you will see your.
And then you can put a passphrase on the key. Or I don't
This
know. So I have a key now.
For S3 bucket.
Just type a command and I say test key. So now I have two files here. Test key.pub.
One of them
So
called.
This encryption works in this way that I have one key
You will see
and the
on
server
internet,
has another part of the key.
and
So
which I will check.
and somehow they're like a lock and a key. So my key, when I connect to that server, I send my key and it fits in the lock and then I get access. But nobody else can get access because they don't have the key, but only the lock. Yeah, so what you see here in this other machine, VPS, is a file. Let's say it's called authorized keys, and this is one of those keys. So this is my public key. So here I have a key. Here I have the let's say the lock, and I put the lock on the other system, and then I can access it with my own key. So of course in the cloud, I don't have access to that system. So if I say to Amazon, give me a machine, there still needs to be a way to get my lock onto that server, and that's what you have to do first always when you go somewhere. So
it's a trade-off of this kind of simplified environment. But again, the goal is that everybody can understand basics. After that, we will start doing something.
We have to create our own key, or
if you create a VM, at the end it will ask create all or use all.
Yeah.
You cannot use if you not created.
So what you do is, I'm just going to continue.
And
So we logged into the account,
the secret key.
and then you go to the security settings. So if I go away again,
you will be able to connect to your via SSH.
So I logged into the console, and then I go to my profile, and then I go to security credentials. So my account here, so our account, has security credentials which are linked to this account or me as a person, or let's say us as a person. So apparently you don't have to change the password. I thought it was mandatory. So then we go to this thing, encryption keys. And here we can add those keys, what I was just talking about, so that we can log into those systems. So I don't want to have a server here. Change it. The thing is that apparently by default they put you in this US region. But of course, if I have to log into a server which is in the US, it will take a little bit more time than when it's here. It will take more than a second, maybe. So I want to have the fastest connection. So I take Frankfurt because they are.
Drive.
Yeah.
But my question, if somebody already created instance, which AMI you use? Just default?
Just generic AMI.
Just generic.
Linux.
Okay, so something what is advanced, more advanced. Try to also, you will see one of its instructions about guidelines for practice. Upload or create a HTML file, index HTML.
So we have to use
wait, I think you can actually do it when you started the machine. So
the image that you install is typically called blank. This image also capable of holding or hosting website.
So this one is ours.
But we want to access it, so you there's an
yeah, I was probably in the wrong place. So I think if I start the machine, it will ask me for these credentials anyway. So I just went to the place where you can select machines, and then you can select server with the type of operating system. So normally in the cloud you have Linux operating systems, so what I also have on my laptop, because the reason why I have it is because you also always have it on the server as well, so it goes well together. But you can run basically anything you want except for macOS, because it doesn't make sense to run on the server.
What if you have a Mac?
Well, you can have a Mac, but you wouldn't run a macOS on the server because it's a graphical operating system. That server doesn't have a screen; it's just a server.
That used to follow all the steps that described in guidelines. Because it's safe. You can do this now, but
limited
time. your task is none. Why do you need to select region? Why you need to select a security group? And which kind of image you can see? You can also, when you deploy image or selecting, you can do this from default, what is immediately shown in your screen, or you can buy from the market. This was also maybe I will need to provide more instruction of what you need to learn. Let me do this by tomorrow. That if you want to experiment during the weekend, you will see. So the question will be indeed, look at the different type of image. Still deploying T2 micro for educational purpose.
So
but you need to
different
learn which images
sizes.
exist, how much it costs, look at the prices. This will be mostly discussed in the next lesson. Yes.
So I have a question. So we have right now we have one group account that we share, and we have the guidelines. So the idea is that when I go back home, should I use the shared account to? Should we each use the same account and can we log in at the same time?
It's possible.
Okay.
You can use I will see, but again, in this case, you need to make it.
Zo irritant. Oh, ik wil het gewoon doen, weet je wel. Ja, geniet dat. Ik had het al lang in de kei vergingen. Ja, ik stond er maar. Dit nemen we allemaal op. Nou, ik zet hem maar uit.